Hey, what did you just do?
This.
Hey, oh.
Spider-Man had just stolen something and was about to make his getaway when suddenly, a web shot out from behind him, locking him in place. Before he could react, Dr. Strange whipped out a magical lasso, yanked Peter back, instantly knocking Peter's soul out of his body. Peter stared in disbelief as he saw his spirit floating outside himself. Strange reached for the mystical box, but Peter's spider sense kicked in, preventing him from grabbing it. In a flash, Peter snapped back into his body, fired a web, and tried to escape. Dr. Strange wasn't having it. He flung his cloak, which quickly snatched Peter and hurled him across the room. Then Strange activated the mirror dimension. Peter plummeted into a surreal magical space, free-falling from thousands of feet in the air. Strange began reshaping the cityscape like building blocks, warping skyscrapers to trap Peter. He summoned a portal, and a train barreled through, slamming into Spider-Man. Just as Strange was about to reclaim the box, Peter's web pulled it back. Strange sighed in frustration. He flipped the world upside down with a spell, wrapped the train around Peter, and created two portals that forced Peter to loop through them endlessly. The cloak tried to snatch the box again, but Peter managed to stay balanced. Strange lashed out with a magical whip, aiming for the box, but accidentally caused the mirrored worlds to collide and explode. Being the science whiz he is, Peter noticed the infinite symmetrical structures and quickly realized the mirror dimension was governed by geometry. He calculated the coordinates using the formula, radius squared divided by pi. Strange told Peter to stay put and promised to come back for him later. But in the next moment, Peter's webs wrapped around Strange, tying him up. Peter grabbed the box and even swiped Strange's magic ring, freeing himself from the mirror dimension. Peter's mission wasn't selfish. He wanted to save the villains, hoping to free them from the evil forces controlling them. First up was Doc Ock. Using Tony Stark's fabrication machine and with Norman Osborn's help, Peter built a neural chip and installed it on Ock's neck, successfully regaining control over his mechanical arms. Ock even returned the nanotech to Peter. Next was Electro. Peter crafted a power-absorbing device and attached it to Electro's chest. Once the green light turned on, he'd revert to a normal human. Everything was going smoothly until Peter's spider sense flared. He sensed something dark stirring. Without hesitation, he struck Norman, realizing the Green Goblin persona had taken over. Goblin began manipulating the others, convincing them to reject Peter's cure. Electro ripped off the device and stole Stark's arc reactor. Chaos erupted. Sandman turned into a cloud of sand and vanished. Electro, now supercharged, hurled Doc Ock out the window and escaped in a burst of energy. Green Goblin punched Peter out the window, then slammed him back into the building. Peter tried to fight back, flipping Goblin with his webs. He attempted to flee, but Goblin grabbed him and threw him back again. Peter seized the moment, leapt onto Goblin, and unleashed a flurry of punches. But the more he hit, the more Goblin laughed. Then Goblin grabbed Peter and smashed him into the ground. Peter realized he couldn't win. If this kept up, he'd die. He broke through a window and tried to climb out, only to be ambushed by the lizard, who tossed him back inside and disappeared. Goblin grabbed Peter again and hurled him from the 10th floor to the ground. He choked Peter and sneered, "Your weakness is your biggest flaw." Just then, Aunt May arrived with the antidote. She stabbed it into Goblin's neck, but it didn't work. Instead, Goblin's glider struck her, sending her flying. Goblin jumped